The coldest weather of the summer is coming to the United States this week, and this is going to drop temperatures by 20 to 30 degrees as a strong cold front is expected to bring our first feeling of fall. Additionally, we are expecting isolated severe weather to continue into this week, and the tropics are heating up very quickly, and there could be a sneaky tropical system developing in the main development region that could move into the Caribbean Sea as we go later into the work week. So in today's forecast, we're going to break down exactly what you need to know about the weather that'll be impacting the United States over the next 7 days, and we'll begin with what's happening across the country today. And generally speaking, this is one of the quietest days of weather that we've had across the entire country all year long. The biggest story is that we have a lot of showers and thunderstorms currently in the Gulf, also throughout the southeast, which will bring the potential for localized flooding. Otherwise, we just have a large low pressure system right now spinning north of the Great Lakes. This is about to usher in a ton of colder weather over the next few days. This includes areas in the Great Plains, including Texas, the Midwest, the Ohio Valley, even as far south as Florida is going to feel the effects of this strong cold front. Now let's talk more about the weather pattern that'll be impacting the United States over the next 7 days. And to look at that, we are going to look at our mid-level flow and our jet stream. And right now we have a large trough that is sitting across the Great Lakes region, just north there of the Great Lakes in Canada. And then we also have a large high pressure system across the southwest. But notice this right here. This is all northwesterly flow, which is about to usher in a ton of cold air out of Canada, which is going to drop the temperatures across the Midwest, the Ohio Valley, and the Northeast by as much as 30 degrees over the next few days. And we'll even have some spots challenging record-breaking low high temperatures. For this time of the year, that's pretty surprising. We haven't really dealt with that kind of weather at all this summer, and this will be the first time that we actually have a potential of breaking some colder type temperatures. As we go into Monday into Tuesday, that trough is going to be digging across the Great Lakes and also the Midwest, which is going to continue to bring very strong northwesterly flow, bringing all that cold air out of Canada. So the coldest weather of the week for most of the country will be around Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And this is going to last a prolonged period of time. We're talking about 5 to 7 days of at least below average temperatures in a lot of these areas. Now, if you're back over around or just west of the Rockies, unfortunately, high pressure will be continuing to dominate, which is actually going to increase the amount of rainfall with monsoon season underway. But on top of that, it's also going to be much warmer than average. So no cold weather expected for you guys. By Wednesday and Thursday, that cold weather will continue basically anywhere east here of Texas and also back into the Ohio Valley along the East Coast for Thursday. And then by Friday and Saturday, that low pressure system will be moving out. And then by the time we go into early September, things become a lot more uncertain, but severe weather season actually could wake up again across the Great Plains and the Midwest as we start September. But this obviously is still far out. Things could change, but long-term signals do indicate that we will have a return of severe weather relatively soon. And so as we've been talking about, the coldest weather of the season is on the way, and we have not seen this in quite some time, but we have a large area of dark blue on the temperature anomalies as we go into late Sunday, sitting across the Midwest and the Ohio Valley. And this will continue to drop to the south as we go into Monday and Tuesday. Here's that leading edge of the cold front by Tuesday morning. It will be reaching the Dallas-Fort Worth area, also near Atlanta, Georgia, all the way back through New England. This is the low pressure system. It's way back up here north of New England. So that cold front will continue to drop down to the south. And then by Wednesday and Thursday, that cold air is going to be across a large chunk of the country. Even though we have high pressure back over in the Four Corner states, there will be at least a brief period of below average temperatures, especially with all the rain that we'll be seeing over there. And then by Thursday, that cold weather should be reaching even down into central and northern Florida with below average temperatures likely in those areas. By the time we start September, cold weather will likely continue at least around, if not just below average temperatures as we go into Monday of the following week, so September 1st. And then beyond that point, warm weather should return, which means that also we'll likely start to see the return of some severe weather, especially if we get troughs that go right over the Rockies, which looks possible at least in the first week of September. Now, these are the actual forecasted temperatures throughout the next several days, beginning with tomorrow, which is Sunday. We are expecting temperatures to once again be in the low 100s and the upper 90s across Texas, Louisiana, Arkansas, and Oklahoma. But look at this, back over in the Midwest, high temperatures tomorrow, only in the 50s and 60s, including northern Wisconsin. We'll barely get to 60 in most areas tomorrow. Low temperatures as we go into Monday morning in the 40s. We could even have some upper 30s back over in northeastern Minnesota. So some frost is actually not impossible, which is pretty surprising again for the tail end of August. As we go into Monday, temperatures continue to stay in the 60s and 70s across the Midwest and the Northeast. Temperatures down in Texas will be in the 100s. We are expecting a lot of rainfall on Monday back over in Oklahoma, Missouri, and also Kansas, which means temperatures will actually be pretty low during the afternoon and evening hours, but it will be very humid. On Tuesday, same story. We're talking about temperatures in the 70s for highs and then also lows will likely be in the 40s and 50s. And that cold front will drop into Florida as we go into Wednesday. Most areas will only drop about 5 to 10 degrees, but it's still going to be a noticeable difference, and it could even be a little bit drier for some areas as well. By Thursday afternoon, temperatures across the board will be in the 70s and 80s for most of the country, some 90s back along the Gulf Coast and also throughout Texas. And then by Friday into Saturday, it's basically going to be the same story. Temperatures will actually be dropping a little bit further as we go into Friday across the Northeast. And the Cloud Prediction Center also agrees with this forecast, indicating that below average temperatures are much more likely than not across most of the country as we go into Thursday of next week all the way through Monday of the following week. This is the day 6 to 10 outlook, so it goes basically from August 28th until September 1st. So again, you can expect really nice weather here over the next 7 to 10 days. Definitely get outdoors. This is some of the nicest weather that we've had all summer long across most of the country, and for many of you, you actually might even need a light jacket and some pants, especially in the Midwest, where we could have temperatures falling into the upper 30s and low 40s on a few select mornings. Now let's go through the future radar for the next 7 days, beginning with tomorrow, which we are expecting showers and thunderstorms to continue across the southeast. Rain also continuing up and down the east coast from the mid-Atlantic back into northern New England. And as we go into Monday, that is a day that we are expecting some heavy rainfall to make its way into Kansas and Oklahoma. We are expecting multiple shots of heavy rainfall in the central and southern plains throughout this week. So be prepared for the potential of flooding. This will also help to kind of bust the drought in these areas as well. First shot of rain is going to be Monday into Tuesday. We'll have another chance Thursday into Friday as well, with heavy rainfall being a possibility. As we go into the weekend and early next week, showers and storms continue across the southeast. There is a low chance that we could actually see a tropical system form along the east coast right around August 31st into September 1st. This is not a super high likelihood of happening, but it is something that is looking a little bit more synoptically likely, at least see some heavy rainfall along the east coast. But a tropical storm could definitely come out of this as we go into basically the beginning of September. And then eventually, as we go further into the first week of September, things become a lot more uncertain. But obviously right now it does not look like we're talking about much significant severe weather for the next 7 days. But I do think as we go into the first week of September, severe weather is going to make a return. And the tropics continue to look active across the Atlantic Ocean. We have 2 areas of development that we are keeping an eye on, the first of which is just south of Bermuda, which is likely going to become our next tropical storm, which would be named Fernan. It is going to continue to move off to the north over the next few days. It becoming a hurricane looks unlikely at this time, but we are at least expecting some storm surge and tropical storm force winds to be a possibility, assuming this forms, which is a very high likelihood right now, just south of Bermuda. We also have another area of development that is going to be coming up on the Lesser Antilles in just a few days. This right now doesn't look super concerning, but obviously look at the direction of it. It is going to be moving into the Caribbean Sea. I do have some concern that maybe in the long term this could form into something tropical, but at least in the short term it does not look to be anything super concerning, at least for the Lesser Antilles. And just to give you an idea of what the long-term future holds of Invest 99L, which is in the main development region, it will go through the Lesser Antilles within the next couple of days, and then about 5 to 7 days from now there is a chance that it may develop somewhere in the Caribbean. And if it does develop, there is a couple of scenarios here. It could end up going in the direction of like Florida, for example. It could go into the southwestern Gulf. It also could kind of crash here into the Central America region. So there's multiple scenarios that could pan out. All 3 scenarios do not indicate this becoming much more than a tropical storm as of right now, so I'm not too concerned about this. But obviously with it going into the Caribbean Sea, with how warm the water temperatures are, if this is able to get going, there could be concern, especially for the United States. But at least for now, it's not concerning, nothing to be scared about, just something that we'll be keeping an eye on here over the next few days. And as always, thank you all so much for watching today's forecast. If you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe down below. There will be no video tomorrow. Our next forecast will probably be on Monday, so make sure you click the bell icon so you're notified with the latest updates, and we'll see you guys all again in the next video.